Louanna's Letters, Part 1. The tulips were delivered to Miss Izzy's doorstep once a week without fail, all wrapped in cellophane and tied with a bow. I looked for them every Tuesday morning when I walked Puppy to the park. No one knew her name. She seemed like an Isadora, so in my head I addressed her as Izzy for short. I added Miss out of deference for the liberal dusting of silver on her crown. Miss Izzy lived by herself in the house at the corner of Clover Court, with a cranky cat who fumed and hurled itself at the front bay window whenever Puppy and I passed by. An orgy of weeds wandered all over the walkway, and her grass hadn't been cut for as long as I could remember. She wore her hair in a knot at the nape of her neck, or in a wispy braid hanging over her shoulder. In the summer, she hid under the brim of a floppy old hat, squatting on a wooden stool and plucking away at the sea of dandelions buttering her lawn. It irked me to keep walking past with never a word of acknowledgement, so one day I attempted a cheerful "Good morning." Miss Izzy made no response, and I concluded that she was fated to end her days alone. The dark days of summer yielded to fall temperatures. Autumn weather flung mantles of flame all over the maples guarding the sidewalks of Clover Court. Puppy pranced in piles of dry leaves, always pausing in front of Miss Izzy's bay window to perform his three-legged ballerina act against her fire hydrant and drive the cat into a foaming frenzy. Miss Izzy still sat on her stool and tugged. I wondered how long she would pass her mornings when a blanket of white frosted the lawn. I became reluctant to venture out as the cold crept in. Puppy played in the backyard, and I reconciled myself to picking up and disposing of bushels of lapdog waste when spring returned. Then came an unexpected mild day when I was inclined to walk again with a panting pet in tow. We approached the battlefront window just as Miss Izzy emerged from her garage, lugging a laden recycling bin. I covered the distance between us at a brisk trot with an offer of assistance. Ma'am, let me help you." She straightened up with a sigh and nodded, murmuring, "Yes, thank you." Stooping to pick up the plastic bin overflowing with newspapers, magazines, and bundles of letters secured together with rubber bands, I caught a glimpse of faded foreign stamps. "I'll hold the dog," Miss Izzy offered. I handed the leash over and bent to examine the contents of the box. Ma'am, these stamps might be of some value. Are you sure you want to throw them out?" "Do you want them?" "Oh, I do. I couldn't believe my luck. Oh, what about the letters? They should be shredded, you know." She shrugged. "Keep 'em. Toss 'em out. Do as you wish. Don't care." Miss Izzy held on to Puppy while I dragged the blue box to the curb. She gave me a plastic bag for the letters. "I live across the street at number 26, I said, fishing the discarded mail out of the box. "I'm Lou," Miss Izzy replied. She stood head and shoulders above me. I had never seen her on her feet before. We smiled at each other. Miss Izzy and I were officially acquainted. Finally. The mail was dated between 1964 and 1975. The correspondence from Quintus Lim was addressed to Lulu Lame, all unopened and in its original condition. I sorted the aerograms, greetings cards, and tissue-thin notepaper in airmail envelopes by date and arranged them in piles on the kitchen table. The missives were short, no more than a handful of lines, written in elegant copper plate with curlicues and flourishes, which made the handwriting difficult to decipher at times. Postage stamps from every corner of the globe were a philatelist's dream come true. I spent the evening working my way through the stack of letters. There were several like these. Quebec City, June 18, 1964. Dear Lou, happy birthday to the prettiest girl I know. Love, Quintus. Paris, June 18, 1966. Dearest Lou, happy birthday. Will you marry me? Always yours, Quintus. Tangiers, June 18, 1970. Darling Lou, when we were 10, you said you would marry me one day. Will you? Still hopeful, Quintus. P.S. Happy birthday. Singapore, December 1975. Dear Lou, another Christmas in the Orient. No snow, just heat and mosquitoes. You are probably married by now. I have given up hope of hearing from you. I'll keep writing anyway, just in case. Always yours, Quintus. The messages were succinct, almost childlike in their simplicity. There were about 3 dozen in all. I felt like Peeping Tom, completely caught in the mesh of this romance that never was. Bedtime came. Sleep fled. I was too involved. Who's Quintus Lim? The voice of curiosity nagged. An inevitable midnight Google search ensued, revealing enough to satisfy an immediate thirst. I scribbled some notes. Quintus Lim, born in Hong Kong, 1945, graduate of York University, Toronto, Harvard Business School, scholar, author, globe-trotting entrepreneur, retired. Founder of QL Enterprises, importers, exporters, online, florists. Miss Izzy waved from her doorstep as Puppy and I availed ourselves of another mild day. The cat commenced its demented dance. His distracted owner missed her footing and fell, hitting her head on a concrete paving stone. She landed with one leg folded at an odd angle beneath her. I reached for my mobile phone.